Welcome in, Yankees family. I'm your guy Gio, joined every week with my co-host Tyler. Tyler, how you feeling, brother?
As a Yankees fan, this past weekend was the best weekend we've had in a long time. A long time.
Yes, yes, indeed. Hold on, let me get the sound effects going. There we go. Yes, it's been a good week. We'll get into talk about it, but we're recording this as of September 5th. I was on vacation for the last week, so sorry that we've missed some recaps. We're doing this recording a little late, but I appreciate you, Tyler, fitting me in. If this is your first time watching the show, please don't leave without leaving a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe if you like Yankees content. Yankees week has been good, like you touched upon, Tyler. Right there, the boys are 6-1 out of their last 7 games, which we can officially say they are winning baseball games. How do you feel about the week?
Good baseball teams, they put their team in a position to win every ball game.
Mm-hmm.
And with the way the Yankees pitch and the way they pitched most of the year, if you give them 3 or 4 runs, they're in a pretty good spot. They're getting rid of the pitchers that are blowing up the games, like Herman and Severino were doing, and the offense is working together because these guys have played together before and they know how to win together. And in the game tonight, it's Tuesday. On the eighth inning, Gleyber Torres just hit a two-run double to make it 5-1. They're on their way to winning their fourth in a row. Should be 8 in a row if they didn't mess up that game against the Tigers because of one Gleyber Torres.
Yep.
But things have looked a lot better. If one night one guy doesn't get that hit, the next guy behind him will. Peraza has 3 hits one night, and then the next night Wells and Dominguez are contributing. It's everybody's bringing some to the table. That's how a baseball team operates, and they're giving their team a shot because the pitchers are pitching and the hitters are hitting. I mean, they're just playing baseball.
That's it, Susan. In a nutshell,
That's baseball, Susan.
that's baseball. But yes, I agree 100%. The team, and they brought this up in the broadcast earlier today when Bernie and Paul were talking about it. That '98 team. Pretty much every day there was a different hero, right?
Exactly.
Did it? It wasn't the same guys over and over. It was, whatever it was, whoever it was Paulie one night, Bernie one night, Jeet one night, Prasada, and that's pretty much what we're seeing now, right? These guys are picking each other up, giving themselves opportunities to win, and then Glaber does another bonehead play, and gets himself thrown out. But yeah, this team, they're doing all the right things. Like the young kids are doing all the right things. Before we get into like deep dives with the kids, let's just jump into like some of the hot topics and just talk about it. Talk about them individually. I
Uh-oh.
know you had
Uh-oh. Goddamn, Glaber doesn't know how to run the bases.
yep, another
How many
bonehead
more
play
times are we
by
get picked
Glaber.
off?
You're behind me, so I'm just gonna pause this because you're behind me. Um, let's talk about our first topic. Dominguez. Dominguez arrives in Houston. First at bat against a Hall of Famer of Justin Verlander. Hits a home run to the opposite field. I think it was the third pitch he saw in the majors. What is your thoughts about Dominguez in Houston?
He was batting third in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time a rookie has done that for the Yankees, especially a 20-year-old? He, of course, hit a home run on his first swing, and he hit another one 2 days later. Today, he extended it to a 4-game hitting streak to start his career. I, I'm trying my absolute best not to jump to conclusions too quickly, but I haven't been happier as a Yankee fan in so long by like one person just providing what you dreamed of for such a long time.
Yes, I think Dominguez. It was very cool to see what Dominguez is potentially going to turn into. It's early. It's early in his tenure. He's pretty much producing at least a hit a game, which is good. his batting average is not lighting it up, but he's also not looking overmatched. He's having professional at bats. He's hitting the ball hard. He's putting the ball in play. He's not striking out a ton. He's still striking out around almost a 30% clip. It's like 20 something, 26%, I think, before tonight's game. But it's not alarming. It's not, Aaron Judge 2016 striking out half the time. He's at least putting the ball in play. He's playing very good defense. One thing I can say about Dominguez and both Wells, I didn't notice the fact that they are rookies and that they're playing defense, which is speaks volumes of how professional they are. They're not making outstanding plays that they're standing out, but they're also not making bad plays that they're standing out. So they're blending in. They're making the plays. They're making the routine plays, and that's all you could really ask for from both Dominguez and Wells. So I'm actually excited to see what the next 20. We're already into game 25, but the next 24 games after today really look like with these kids. It should be exciting, and if Dominguez could finish the season hitting around 240 to 260. I would even try to imagine hitting over 300. But you can hit in between that 240, 260. I will feel comfortable going into next season. Say, all right, he can take now that next step forward.
Yeah, I don't expect him to hit 300 the rest of the year. But look, the Yankees got 2 more games against Detroit, 3 games against Milwaukee, I think 4 games against the Red Sox. If they can take care of business the next 5 or 6 days in a row, every day your goal is to not lose.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into that Toronto series winning like 10 in a row,
Yeah.
you're going to be a game or two back, like 2 or 3 games back probably. And then you play Toronto 6 of the last 12 games. You play Kansas City Royals for 3 and the Diamondbacks for 3.
Mm.
I mean, it's early, but they swept Houston, and I hadn't seen a Yankees team handle Houston with that kind of confidence and that kind of like dynamic throughout the lineup in a long time.
Yes.
But
100%.
we'll revisit this in a week because only time will tell.
Yes. So let's just continue to talk about some of the kids, just because there's some interesting decisions that's going to come with the next, let's say, 3 weeks, right? 3.5 weeks. They're going to have to make some decisions on veterans. Those veterans include Stanton, Rizzo, DJ LeMahieu, IKF, Gleyber Torres, because these kids are talking themselves into situations where you can move some of these guys and you probably will not miss a beat. What are your thoughts on, Wells specifically, or Pereira, even Peraza, just exerting themselves into this mix. And then now you have Higgy, Roy Vet, Trevino, Glaber, Stanton, Rizzo, all now with their roster spot kind of in the flux.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, first off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they do have to make some decisions. I'm very interested to see how Pereira does
Mm-hmm.
the next 3 or 4 weeks, as well as Peraza. Those two guys, I think Wells has a pretty good shot at it because he's got the developed bat already, and he bats lefty as a catcher,
Yep.
which I don't think they're gonna find a better guy and situation for the price. And I mean, all of the question marks were on defense. I mean, it's only 3 games,
Yeah.
but you didn't notice him back there.
Mm-hmm.
The pitchers were raving about his game plan. He's got a really mature baseball brain playing at college for like 4 years. So I think he's going to stick. I think Dominguez is going to stick. He's so young. But then you have some decisions to make in left field and literally the whole infield.
Yeah.
And so it comes down to it. Who can, first off, who ends his season well and who thinks that you can actually bring value and whose contract can you trade?
Yeah.
Now, the worst of worst and of both sides, Oh, and there's a single. Just Clay Holmes with the 2-out single. You'll love to see it. Um, as I was saying, you Stanton has the biggest contract, and he's produced probably the least. I mean, I don't think they're gonna cut Rizzo, not giving him a chance after his thing, or maybe this just takes out the rest of his career like it does for some guys with the concussions.
Yeah.
You don't know. So I go into spring training with you got to have somebody battle with Rizzo at first base, and I think LeMahieu's going to be the third baseman because he's been hitting the last. He has like 5 home runs the last like 11 games or something,
Mm-hmm.
something he's never had before. And there's really no third baseman available. If you time it up right, you'll be able to eat him his contract out off and be able to sign like a Murakami or whomever on the corner when they're ready. And he's kind of producing.
Yankees win 5-1.
Let's go. 5-1, 4 in a row.
That's officially a winning streak. That's officially a winning streak. Sorry to
All
interrupt you,
right, no
but you
more
definitely go
focus on the
ahead.
TP.
Sorry to bother you, but definitely keep going. Keep going, because I agree. DJ LeMahieu is making it very hard for the New York Yankees right now.
So I think they're going to give Rizzo another chance if his health permits.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lefty still, and it's only a year or two left. But Stanton just clogs up the whole roster. Um, I think you got to figure out what you have with Ben Rice, Trey Sweeney, and Spencer Jones,
Mm-hmm.
along with some of those pitchers. I think they should send them to the Arizona Fall League. They're going to face some higher competition, and then maybe bounce them up a level at the beginning of next year if they not give them a competition in the spring. So the Yankees need to make some smart decisions. It really the first big trade they make, and they really haven't done any trades in a while. They need to make a smart trade because there's not a lot of free agency, and these roster spots are more valuable than just playing the person who's been stuck there.
I agree. There is definitely some decisions to be made. The kids are making it difficult, and if they perform well, actually, let me take that back. The kids will make it difficult if they continue to produce in September. If they now say, Dominguez contributed today, Wells didn't start because Cole was pitching, and Cole's pitching for Cy Young, so of course you want him to remain comfortable. So maybe you won't rock that boat until maybe the last two starts of the season. That you want to just see Cole with Wells, kind of see how their rapport goes. Because Cole's gonna tell you whether Wells is gonna be an everyday starter next year. If he likes him and thinks he could work with him and groom him, then he'll probably be the starter next season. But if Cole doesn't like him in the starter too that he does throw at him this year, you might see like Rorvet be Cole's personal catcher, or Trevino, whoever decides to be that backup. So if the kids continue to perform, they're gonna make it difficult. If they don't, then you might see the same old Yankee lineup, Yankee team that gets put out there. Brian Cashman, we've documented this, said this tons of times. He doesn't like he prioritizes veterans over rookies for this simple reason, because there's at least some type of accountability with a veteran where at the end of the season, no matter how the chips may fall, that their numbers should return to the back of their baseball card. Unfortunately, the Yankees have been having bad luck the last few seasons, and I say bad luck loosely. I think it's poor roster management and banking on the players. Gambling on the wrong players. But let's just give him the benefit of the doubt. Just said that they've been having bad luck. They have a catcher problem. They have an infield problem. And if the kids perform well, they're starting to put themselves in an outfield problem where there's a little bit too many bodies for amount of spots on a roster. The maximum you can have is 13 pitchers. So you have to put together a roster of 26 men with 13 position players, maximum. or 14 maximum. I think you could only do 14 max. Um, and 9 of those are going to be in your starting lineup. So where does these what do these spots get filled? What are your thoughts on the Yankees infield start next season?
So let's start at catcher. I count that as an infield. You
Mm-hmm.
got Wells, Trevino, Hickey, and Rortvedt.
Yeah.
All right, let me start over. If they if they go with what they're currently using, let's assume Wells, Dominguez, Pereira, and Volpe stick.
Mm-hmm.
They re-up them. You have Wells and let's say Trevino behind the plate, Rizzo at first,
Yep.
Labor second, LeMahieu at third, Volpe at shortstop, and Peraza, rotating between second, third, and shortstop.
Mm.
And one of them will probably get injured, so he'll get his fair playing as a fourth infielder. In the outfield, you have Pereira, Dominguez, Judge with Stanton DH. That is still 6 of 9 hitters are righties, which can work out a lot better than like 8.
Mm-hmm.
So in the infield, you have 4 positions, obviously. Um, Here's the thing: you got Volpe at short. That's going to be a given, apparently. You don't know what you have with Rizzo. LeMahieu's been playing better, and Glaber's been hitting the hot bat. Glaber's going to want a lot of money as a free agent at the end of next year.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really think you should trade high because his defense is a problem, and I think you can trade high for him and reinvest that value elsewhere.
Yeah.
There's no third baseman available, so I put LeMahieu on third base because he's had like a 130, 140 WRC plus since the All Star break. It's way up there. It's like 860 OPS, something like that.
Yeah.
So I have Peraza at second, LeMahieu at third, Volpe at short, or maybe they just keep Peraza at third. My only problem with Peraza at third is I think you need a bigger bat at third base.
Yeah.
You need a big bopper, and I don't think his bat will play up. That's why you have to get rid of Glaber to play Peraza at second, even though I think Peraza should be the shortstop, but I digress. In the outfield, I don't know what I think about Pereira yet. The swing looks good. The results haven't been there yet, but I think they're coming.
Yeah.
So I'd be fine with Pereira, Dominguez, and Judge with Florial as the fourth outfielder, but they're never going to give him a shot. So I'd bring in Lee, maybe start Pereira in AAA if he struggles, and see what Lee's got. Like I really think his bat would fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And Stanton, of course, you want to trade Stanton. That really opens up that DH spot if you want to get a Soto type, but still have some of those other outfielders out there. It's not a given DH, but it's like you can shift guys around, and you'll probably need another outfielder. So, but Soto's he's the white whale. He's the one bat that would like really change this lineup, really stretch it out. Um, what do you think? Do you have different ideas for the lineup?
So I do. Like I have. So first things first, if Hal Steinbrenner came up to me and said, Gio, I'm giving you 1 year, give me your best shot of rebuilding this roster. My first my first thing to do is any expiring contract I will let leave. IKF.
Exactly. Exactly.
IKF, Wandy Peralta, all the non-roster invitees, French Corderos, the Jake Bowers, Billy McKinney's. Thank you for your service. See you later.
That's
Um,
about that's about 50 or 60 mil right there.
yeah, just coming off the books. You already DFA JD. You got Frank Montas leaving. You got Luis Severino leaving. You just let them all. You just let everyone sell into the sunset. You don't even have to address it. Just let them go. The next moves I will make is I will look to trade Stanton and Glaber. I'm not gonna get into what to get back because what I'm getting back I probably won't be using as part of my roster. I'll probably be looking for some high A, double A talent to replenish for some of the young guys that are coming up now. This way you always have that the next coming up. I'll start looking at my infield primarily because I need to identify the catcher. So, depending on how Rortvet finishes the season, I'm a little disappointed in his bat. So I'll probably start him in AAA, and I'll actually have Trevino and Austin Wells. And they'll fight for playing time starting in spring training. Whoever has the better spring training is going to be a starter. First base, I'm signing a free agent, and that will be Cody Bellinger. I will make him my first baseman since I'm trading Anthony Rizzo. My second baseman would be I'll be making a trade, Brandon Donovan. I'll be doing whatever I can to talk to St. Louis, whatever they have. Pereira's up for grabs. Peraza's up for grabs because I'm keeping DJ LeMahieu. After this season, I'm going to give DJ one more year. You finished the year hot. Hopefully, he continues to do so. Now, I want to see that translate into next season and be a full season. Not necessarily saying that he will be starting, but I'm not willing to trade DJ yet. My third baseman would be a tandem. They will be fighting for playing time in spring training. Would be Peraza or DJ LeMahieu. And of course, Anthony Volpe has sold me as being a big league shortstop. I would not move him to second base. I think he will get better with time. He's only 22 years old. He sold me, so he will be my starting shortstop next year. It's his job to lose, essentially. My outfield, this is where things get interesting. Dominguez would definitely be my starting center fielder. His job to lose. Left field, Jung Ho Lee. I will be making a free agent snag and grabbing him. And then Judge should have a healthy offseason. He's your starting right fielder. And unfortunately, I don't think we can trade Stanton, so Stanton will remain my DH. I do not see anyone else, Chaparros, Florials. They're all going to be free agents. They'll be also sailing into the sunset. Like I said, everyone that's a pending free agent, I want them off the team. You want to hear my lineup? Because I actually think this is a very sick lineup. You tell me yours, and then I'll tell you mine. Since we already went back and forth about roster.
In no order, just by position. I have Wells at catcher. First base, a spring training battle between Rizzo, Ben Rice, whoever else turns up.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I think that ends up being Murakami after the 2025 offseason. I really think his bat would
I can see that.
build different. My second baseman is Anthony Volpe, but they won't move him off shortstop. My middle infield is Praza and Volpe.
However that shakes out.
However, whatever. Uh, DJ's on third. I have Jung Ho Lee in left field. Although he's won so many Gold Gloves, he'd probably be a better center fielder than Dominguez. But whatever, cover left field, advantageous either way.
Yeah.
Center field Dominguez, right field Judge, and DH Mr. Juan Soto. My rotation has Cole, Rodon, King, Cortez, and I think Clark Schmidt would be included in a Padres trade. So he wouldn't be included. My fifth spot would go to, like the Luis Heels, the Vasquez, Hampton. I don't really care about the fifth spot. Somebody will eventually emerge and take that. Or I would not mind a run at Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
I haven't even thought about pitching because I'm confident that Carlos Rodon, Garrett Cole, and probably Yamamoto will probably be the three-headed snake. And 4 and 5 really won't even matter at this point. At least not for the playoffs. Regular season, yeah. Clark Schmidt, Vasquez, Brito, Thorpe, all these guys can battle for 4 and 5.
How do you feel about King?
I like him. I just think I like him better as a late inning kind of firefighter, if that makes sense. Coming in, one out, bases loaded. He has that strikeout stuff, and he also has ground ball potential with his sinker. So I just like him in those type of spots, but I wouldn't be opposed for him to being a starter because he's actually looking pretty good as a starter. Impressive almost, where I kind of want to see 3, 4 more starts and then maybe give him a shot in spring training and see if he can carry that over.
If
Because
he
you can always revert him back. You can't do the opposite. So you kind of want to keep him on this trajectory as a starting pitcher. And if you ever need to put him back in the bullpen, it's easier that way.
if he has if he can get up to like 95, 100 pitches and still have that same stuff, I'm all for it.
Mm,
I think in the bullpen, it's time to trade Clay Holmes.
mm,
I think it's time to let Wandy go via free agency, Abreu, and others. I really like Vasquez and Brito out of the pen. The Yankees seem they're very good at having starters be relievers and pitch a lot better as relievers.
mm-hmm.
Um, I'd have Loizaga as a closer, and Hamilton's like his right hand man. You got Trevino coming back eventually. Maybe Luis Heel in the bullpen. Maybe
Yeah,
Beater in the bullpen. And you have Scott Efros coming back as well. Um, I had a Juan Soto trade proposal here: Clayton Beater, Johnny Brito, Everson Pereira, and Clark Schmidt.
I'll do
The
that.
values, yeah, it checks out. He's got 1 year left, and you really don't want to give up too much because he's going to test free agency anyways. You're not going to extend him, but you kind of have that like introduction. And if he likes what's going on with Dominguez and Judge to his left and Volpe and Wells and the whole crew here,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe he'll stick around for a nice little check of like 12 years, 600 mil or something like that.
So here's my lineup. I'm gonna give you my lineup, and it's with two scenarios. The first scenario is if we never get Juan Soto, right? We never trade for Juan Soto, and someone gives him more money than the Yankees. My lineup
Mhm.
is leading off Jasson Dominguez, center field, switch hitter. Batting second, Anthony Volpe, shortstop, righty. Batting third, Cody Bellinger, playing first base, lefty. Batting
Okay.
fourth, Aaron Judge, right field, righty. Batting fifth, Austin Wells, catcher, lefty. Batting sixth, Stanton, DH, righty. Batting seventh, no Juan Soto, Jung Ho Lee, batting playing left field, batting lefty. Brandon Donovan, playing second base, lefty. And Peraza or DJ LeMahieu playing third base, righty to end the lineup. Now,
I'd swap the lefty and the righty at the end just to make it satisfying. It doesn't really matter.
I love
Um,
Peraza batting ninth and
I
Dominguez and
do.
Volpe coming back up. It just that lineup. Mm,
My only
mm.
problem is that after this year, Bellinger is going to get like 7 years, 200 something mil.
So
And with the way he's played, I too much of a risk for me. You already spent these contracts and got locked down with these guys. I don't need another one, and I don't want him blocking the chance that Juan Soto or Murakami in free agency. Those are generational talents right there.
now Bellinger would never block Juan Soto because he can play first base and he plays a very well first base. Some people will say just as good as Rizzo. So he won't block him. The only one he will block is Urakami. But you also have to remember if Urakami comes to New York, Cody Bellinger just goes back to the outfield. Like in any situation that you plan this, there's a way to work Cody Bellinger into this situation.
That's the nice thing. That's why he fits like a glove because he's got that perfect lefty swing and he's got the versatility at two pretty different
For
spots.
four good positions. He could play left, right, center, or first base. So there's a way to work him into any situation. The only problem is it would be Jung Ho Lee. Like that, he will be the wrinkle. My fourth outfielder will be Pereira if you don't use him in a deal for somehow. If that doesn't, include Brendan Donovan coming here, using him, excuse me, Juan Soto, etc. Now with Juan Soto, I love this lineup. Jasson Dominguez is same 1-2. Dominguez, Volpe, Soto, Judge,
Oh,
Wells, Stanton.
beautiful.
Um, sorry, Stanton. Shit, where is it? Stanton, Donovan, Peraza, and I feel like I'm missing somebody.
I just don't see him dealing for a guy like Donovan for another infielder unless they can move two or three of the other guys. They got too many guys up there.
Torres, and Rizzo are the first moves I'm making because I can easily pay $10 million for Rizzo to go somewhere. He's a $17 million contract with a $3 million buyout, so he's guaranteed $20 million next year, regardless to what. Pay that 10. Someone would take Riz for 10.
Okay.
He's a big left-handed bat. Great defense. At the worst case scenario, the $10 million would be worth his defense and his veteran presence in the clubhouse. And then Glaber sells himself. You didn't even have to, like a lot of people say, you have to do so much to move some of these guys. Glaber will sell himself. There's not many offensive first, second baseman out there. He's a top 5 first baseman in probably all of MLB. So he will sell himself 1 year control. He's probably not going to be as expensive as a Cody Bellinger or a Juan Soto. You probably get him on an 8 year, 160, 8 year, 225 trajectory versus maybe a Bellinger probably getting 10, 8 to 10, 270 starting.
God damn.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. Him and Glaber are going to be, I think, a year apart by the time they hit free agency. No, they'll be the same
Mm.
age. No, Glaber's 26. He'll be 27. Cody's going to be 28. So, yeah, they're gonna get the same amount of years, give or take. So, no matter what the plan is, Cody has to be a part of it. I think Donovan needs to be a part of it. He's a great left-handed, and you need to get away from some of the right. We have a lot of infielders, I get that, but we kind of need to get away from the right-handed infielders. So
Yeah,
if we
I mean,
can
I agree.
trade some of those right-handed infielders to get the stock we need to get a lefty infielder to interject with Cody, with a few other pieces, it will be big for us. That
I
balance.
I have my hopes up for Ben Rice as well. I don't want to lock up first base, but
He's
can get a
too soon.
guaranteed thing like a player who's proven to be able to hit 320 and nine whatever OPS this year
He
in
just left
Donovan.
high A. So he's 2025 the earliest. So like right now I'm not gonna stop making moves. That's the Yankees mentality. That's what they did with Volpe. They missed out on Corey Seager when Seager could have moved to third base. They missed out on Carlos Correa. Hindsight's 2020 on Carrera, but still in the moment I felt like the Yankees should have got him. Especially for the deal that the Twins got him for, that original deal, that freaking, what was it, $32.5 million and an opt out every year. Come on, that's like the definition of a fucking stopgap.
I I mean, my guy was Seager. I thought he played better as a third baseman like his older
Hmm.
brother, and I thought he would have brought so many championships to the Yankees.
Yeah, he
I
was
mean,
off the
look
board
who he's
first.
batting this year.
Yeah,
But that's too late for that.
yeah, like
Um,
Ben Rice, I'm not gonna hold up getting getting something now that can help us now, because you know
yeah,
what? Who knows? Donovan might not be the future 3 years from now. Ben Rice will be, and then you can flip Donovan. You know, if you get Cody on a nice friendly contract, halfway through, maybe you could flip him. You get to the end of Stanton's career, and you might be able to sell him off. Jung Ho Lee, who knows? He might do well. He's still going to be a free agent after 6 seasons. Halfway through that, maybe you could flip him. There's
no,
there's options to
they can
make room
sign him
for.
to any. I think they can sign him to any deal now.
Yes, there's a posting fee with any international coming from the like Korean market or the the Asian market. There we go. Asian market is a posting fee. Um, but yeah, once the team accepts the posting fee, they have like what is it called? A certain time limit to have direct contract negotiations.
Yeah, the Yoshida on the Red Sox, he got 5 years, 90 mil, I think.
Hmm.
He was he's like 3 or 4 years older than Lee, and played a little bit better, had a little bit more history and a better league in Japan. But Lee, he's been the MVP a few times. He's got like best hand to bat skills, like Gold Glove. He's he's still like 24. I think adding him and like Yamamoto is like just getting guys right out of your farm system. But
Yep.
I mean, you just got to pay the money.
Yep. That's it.
But you're not like paying to acquire a prospect, like a trade firm, or even um, developing them yourself.
Yeah.
It's like free. Just got to pay a little bit of money.
I love that.
Hal opened up the books.
Sorry.
Hal Steimer has got to open up the books.
Yeah, he has a lot coming off the books. If you have 60 coming off the books, Cody shouldn't cost you more than 27 in my eyes. 27 a year. Shouldn't be more than that. Jung Ho Lee shouldn't be more than 12 and a half a year. I would hope to get him for a lot less, but he shouldn't be more than 12 and a half. Then everything else is really just selling from your farm. So, if you can take 60 off the books, put 40 on, you got two nice left-handed bats. Cody could be both infielder and outfielder for you, depending on how you want to move Stanton, how you want to work that. Then the rest is all trades. You make your moves with your guys. Trade Glaber, get some pieces that you can move for a lefty infielder. Trade Rizzo as a dump. You don't even care about what you get back. Then you start to rework and restructure this roster with balance. More lefties, switch hitters. You have to put at least four lefties in this lineup on a daily with the amount of right-handed pitchers we have in this league.
Yeah,
Minimum four. Five would be nice. A little bit too much because you can start planning against five because you're gonna have to bat someone back to back lefty, or back to back righty on somebody. That's what happened with my lineup. There was towards the end of the lineup there was a back to back righty, just because I'm sorry, back to back lefty. So yeah, you have to find that balance.
I mean, I've been loving what I've been seeing from Peraza on defense. He's amazing, man. He's
Yeah.
got the arm too.
DJ or him are gonna have to fight in my Yankee restructure or rebuild. Him and Peraza have to now fight for that third base.
That's
Um,
fair. I
DJ,
just
he's been hot, and I get it, and he's a veteran. But you know what? This can also be a fluke where I kind of need to see DJ. That's why I wouldn't trade him yet. I want to see one more season, and if next
fair enough.
season he starts off slow again, I don't care. There's nothing. I'm like, all right, DJ. We can't deal with this roller coaster. We need someone that can at least be consistent. I don't care that you're not a 320 hitter no more, but at least give me consistency. 260, 275. Give me something that we can work with. I don't care about the power. I need you to be that guy you were when you first got here. A
Yeah,
machine, an RBI
like
machine.
290, 290, like 300, like
I,
15 home runs,
I'll be
maybe.
okay with 275 as long as if he goes back to who he was with runners and scorer position. Because the last couple of
Yeah,
years it's been embarrassing how bad he has been in runners and score because he kept on rolling over, hitting into ground to double plays. Like that double plays are literally the rally killers. So if he could just, I don't care, he can hit 260, 275. But if he can hit above around 300 a runner's scoring position, DJ is back.
now we keep hitting into 4 fielder choices because the like Dominguez running in and out and everybody running in and out. But speed will get on base sometimes a lot more than Stan will ever get on base with his Johnny Pop up there.
Yep, 100%. And Glaber, I'm sorry, Papa, you are gone. I don't care if he goes to Miami and he becomes a Hall of Famer. Good riddance. Glaber. I've never been a doubter of what he can do offensively. Where he gets me is between the eyes, between right here.
Yeah,
This is what
he just
kills me about Glaber.
he doesn't have a position. I mean, he plays second base, but he doesn't know how to play it. So you can play him at DH, but he doesn't have a good enough bat to be like a primary DH. I need like a Jordan Alvarez or like some big lefty slugger that would really help the middle of this lineup. But it's not Glaber, and he's gonna get paid more than he's worth. And you can't. I mean, I like your idea of bringing Bellinger and Lee and Yamamoto. All of those guys would make this team better. But you got to pick and choose your contracts. You can do that if you get rid of one or two of the contracts we already have,
Yeah,
but you can't have both and then still want to sign people after. But I mean, you know this. I'm just talking. I'm pretending the camera right here is Brian Cashman because you got a ABC 1 2 3, and he'll still fail the test.
absolutely. But yeah, you're gonna have to eat you're gonna have to eat some contracts. You're gonna have to free up some roster spots. To me, it's the New York Yankees. Like that's one of the things that the New York Yankees should always be able to flex, just like the Mets are starting to. Is the contracts shouldn't matter. We should not be talking about the Yankees can't absorb another big contract. That's something the Yankee fans should never be uttering because it really doesn't matter. The Yankees make so much money that we can take on a Yamamoto, we can take on a Bellinger and a Juan Soto and a Shohei Ohtani if we really fucking wanted to. This is not a goddamn small market team. They make $7 billion a year. So, like to me, that's a poor excuse of why we can't go after people. We need to go after good talent. It's not about, Carlos Rodon was smart, but you know what? Hindsight, I wanted the guy. Always thought he should have been a Yankee, but maybe we should have pivoted somewhere else and then focused on pitching this year. We could have focused on offense last year, got our shit together, balanced this lineup, and then Yamamoto, and you had so many other candidates coming out. This pitch, you had Nola this year. There's a decent pitching class this season than it was last year, and there was a decent offensive end, and it's flip flopped this season.
You
And I
know,
just feel like
you know
we
one
should have been
guy.
smarter.
One guy who's not going to sign a big contract who was going to.
Who's that?
His name's Julio.
Julio. Which Julio?
Julio Urias.
Oh, damn, that's messed up.
It's not that
Dang.
what he did was messed up.
It is. It is. I just didn't want to bring it up because I don't want to give any recognition to anyone that's in part of domestic violence, especially if you're not my team and I don't have to talk about you. So I didn't want to bring his ass up. But yes, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, he was given a second chance, and
He blew it.
he it's gonna come. He did some horrible things. Just, just a horrible situation. That guy should never play in Major League Baseball ever again. He
Absolutely.
should be in prison. But yeah,
Tyler, thank you for a great episode, brother. I appreciate you. So those are our thoughts on how to rebuild this team for next year. Me and Tyler, we differ on certain aspects, but I think we both honestly can agree that changes need to be made, major changes.
yeah.
Whatever those changes are, either one of our opinions probably would work better than what we're watching right now.
No, I
So
mean, what we're watching right now is 20 times better than what we had last week.
it is, and I don't want to downplay the kids, but there's also a honeymoon stage where maybe next week we start to come a little bit more down to earth and we start to see who these kids really are, or if they continue to bang out and maybe this is the best, um, offensive farm we kind of actually had since probably the early 90s with, some of these guys, Jorge, Jeet, Bernie, some of those guys coming up. So maybe this is just a sign of what's to come for the future. Maybe we have another core players that are coming up that are really good and be beneficial. But for now, I'm gonna reserve my judgments fully until the end of the season where we can reflect. But either way, it's we're starting to see where the future is and it's bright. And now we probably don't have to do as much as we probably thought before. We're selling Stanton, selling this, redoing the whole team. Maybe now you have certain pieces you can build off of. Maybe you just need to get 2 or 3 guys in free agency, plug in a couple trades, couple smart trades, like you said, and kind of start trending in that right direction. Start to compete with, the Rays, the Blue Jays, the Orioles.
I'm finally excited to watch the game again, and I have something to look forward to. So I can't be more thankful. And this month will really show us what we have.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also going to spring training next year, and the people making decisions need to make good decisions for once. And I mean that's all it's going to come down to.
For the
I
Yankees,
whatever I say. No, you got. I'm sorry.
you good. For the Yankees to get to 90 wins and you go 20-5. Right now, the Yankees are 8 out of their last 7. So we are on our way to potentially 90 wins and saving this horrid season. So again, Tyler, thank you for a great episode. Um, we'll see you guys next week. I got some recaps to get to because I've been on vacation. I probably won't do them. I'll let them be. No one wants to rewatch them. So we'll be back with recaps this week with the Tiger series. Maybe we'll have Tyler do a recap for one of these series. Switch it up. All right, chat. Have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
Every judge, every